Hi everyone, welcome back again. This week's been a funny wee week. As you know, I work with a lot of people with mental health problems, drug and alcohol addiction and other addictions, and people with learning difficulties. And I've seen a few people this week in a tremendous amount of pain, emotional pain, physical pain and spiritual pain. And it doesn't matter how much you know, how much you've read, how much you believe in, it's taking action and taking responsibility for the pain. And that's what this talks about, is the pain that we put ourselves through, emotional, physical and spiritual, and the denial that we can easily slip back into. For denial is basically we're just telling ourselves lies. We're either not ready yet to face this fear, we're not willing yet, we've not become honest enough yet, and we're denying it and justifying it. And sometimes you will see, maybe if you've been doing really well in your life, you've been a very positive person, very spiritual, very honest, maybe a long time clean, a long time sober, free from chemicals and mind altering chemicals, prescribed drugs. You could very easily get back on it again when that pain gets really severe. And where does the pain come from? Where does it stem from? And I was doing a talk the other night there on thinking, the king of addictions. And I saw that every bit of pain, while speaking, and the feedback that I got after it, all the pain comes from the thinking, even to the body, where you become depressed through your own thoughts. You become lonely through your own thoughts. You become frightened through your own thoughts. And the next minute you know, you're back in the squirrel cage and you can't get out and you're just going round in that same circle continuously. I've seen sometimes with people that I've known for a long time, their arrogance and the pride and the fear of other people causes a lot of pain, where they won't admit that they're struggling or they're stuck because of that fear of others and what will they think of me because of the person that I used to be. We all hurt, that's one thing, but we all hurt sometime in our life, and sometimes it can be going for a long time. But the pain all comes from the thinking. There was a friend I was talking to who's very lonely. He believes because his age that he's just going to be on his own the rest of his life, and asked him where he got the evidence from, and he just believes, he keeps telling himself, I'm going to be lonely. It's causing a lot of pain in his life, and a lot of fear and isolation, where he's not coming out, and he's ending up on medication again because of this loneliness and fear with what he's gathered in his mind that's caused this in his life. And speaking to him, if penny finally dropped that he's caused this himself. And life is about being personal. We are responsible for our person, our being. And the loneliness, to me, my experience of loneliness is, yes, what I was telling myself, but my biggest loneliness came from separating myself from the spirit, the true person that I am, and coming away from that spirit and not trusting in the divine spirit, the universe, the God of your understanding, whatever it may be, and separating yourself, and sometimes even blaming that power, because we've nobody else round about us to blame, so we just blame the power greater than ourselves, and we become very lonely because we've now separated ourselves from the spirit. And basically it's the ego. The ego is just a wee chatterbox, the wee voice in the head that's gathering all this information for us. And the ego is when you identify and you believe the thoughts that you're having, and you've identified with these thoughts and you really believe in these thoughts, and they've destroyed you. They have absolutely destroyed you. And sometimes we become trapped then, and we can't get out of the thoughts because they can become so powerful, and it baffles us. And you say to yourself, well, I've put myself in this position and I've got to get myself back out of it before this gets worse, because the pain becomes so severe. You end up in aches and pains, and you end up back down the doctors again, sometimes suicidal. Some people can back onto drugs and alcohol because of the pain, the loneliness, relationships, committed relationships, and telling yourself that's the end of the world, I'll never meet anybody again, losing your job, I'll never get another good job like that, blah blah blah, family not talking to you, and it causes a lot of physical, mental and spiritual pain. And believe me, it's all down to thoughts or thinking, nothing else. When you're sitting on your own and there's nobody there round about you, physically, yes, they can hurt us. If they hit us, emotionally and spiritually, it's impossible. And when there's nobody there sitting round about us and we are hurting by choice, if you are aware and you have done some reading and some work on yourself, and you know at the end of the day you can fall right back in, because the universe will bring back to us all the things that we have ran away from, and all the things that we have justified and blamed will come back, because we're down here for a purpose, and that purpose is to learn to love, and learn to love ourselves through learning to love other people. And all the pain that comes in our body comes through our thoughts, and not being able to recognise who we are, that we are spiritual beings having human experiences. And we don't believe that because we have never practiced it. And we have to practice it, and through reading, through meditations, through quieting your mind, through being still, and you will experience the true spirit, the true I am, and who you really are. Because where I came from in my life, I was very depressed and ended up in institutions for my mental health, getting locked up, sectioned, all sorts of rehabs that I've mentioned before in other videos, and suicidal. Now I know about pain when I try to take my own life, but today I won't allow that pain to destroy me anymore. This is about me and building a relationship with me, one of love and one of trust, and getting to know who I really am. And please believe me, that pain will go away when we change our thoughts. You change your thoughts, you will change your life. You will see better things coming to push yourself from that, and stop gathering sick evidence that's absolutely destroying your soul and causing pain, where we're ending up going into the hospitals again, going for medication again, prescribed medication, or medicating ourselves with other drugs and getting other chemicals to kill that pain. And the pain is basically caused through our thoughts. Nothing else can cause that pain apart from our thoughts. If there's nobody hitting us with a stick, then that pain is caused by ourselves, and we have to learn to take full ownership and responsibility for that pain. The pain comes from us the same as joy comes from us. What we tell ourselves in our own head is how we are going to feel. As you think, so shall you feel. And it's a horrible, horrible place to be, in that dark, dark, lonely place, and that pain is getting severe, where the pain with damage we are doing to your spirit is coming out in the body, and the aches and pains, where we're having to go to the doctors. And the doctors only know, and bless them, they only study on the body. The mind and the spirit is our responsibility. But if nobody's ever told you that your pain is coming through your mind and through your thoughts, and the way that you have learned to think and behave towards yourself, and if you're seeing the bad in yourself and you're seeing the bad in other people, then that pain will become so severe where you become trapped in that way of life, and it's very difficult to come back out of. I know people who were very spiritually well, who get caught in that trap, myself included. And it took me years to get back out of it, years, because I kept telling myself I couldn't get out of it, and I blamed everybody else for my own pain, and I had nobody else left to blame but the God of my understanding. And that's when my pain got really severe, because I'd separated myself from the healing, the divine spirit, and that pain became suicidal, because I then blamed. I'd ran out of blame. I had nobody else to blame. I had to learn, for me to recover and for me to get well, I had to take responsibility for my own thoughts and stop justifying these thoughts with blaming other people and dressing these thoughts up. Justification is just another lie. It's just another way of lacking in responsibility. We're justifying our behaviours and justifying it the way we think. And personal responsibility is what sets us free, and that's when the healing process can come in, when we finally recognise that we are responsible for this pain that's going on in our body and going on in our mind and going on in our spirit. Because we are responsible for mind, body and spirit, And as we all know through the pain, when you let the mind go and you let it drift, cunning, baffling, powerful, then the pain begins to become severe. And then we go to the doctors, and the next minute, you know, we're on antidepressants. And so for some people, they'll stay on antidepressants for the rest of their life, as we already know. With some people that we know, these wee small talks that I give onto YouTube are about experience of life and pain, and that we can come out of that pain and free ourselves. And it's not about praying and asking for this help. Prayer is asking, and meditation is waiting for the answer, but we cannot expect the power greater than ourselves to interfere in our lives. We have to learn to take responsibility, and that power will work through you, with you and in you when you stop doubting who you really are. And that's when we can allow the healing to enter into your soul, and the body will be healed, but it'll take a wee bit of time, because the length of time that you've been thinking that way and hurting yourself and been on medication, it takes a wee bit of time. Time is a great healer, but be patient, and then never ever doubt who you are, because once you doubt, the Spirit can't come in to heal us and take away that pain. But first of all, we have to recognise that it's our own thinking, our negative thoughts, how we are gathering this information, that all these bad things are going to happen, because every thought that you have and you're telling yourself these bad things are going to happen, they will happen, and you are attracting more and more and more dark energy, which is causing more and more pain. Because as soon as you open your door, the head, and you let these thoughts come in, you just attract other thoughts, the law of attraction. But it's the same with positive thoughts. When you start believing that you will be healed and you're getting well, and you've had enough pain and you've had enough of this, and you finally decide, you've made that decision, I'm going to get well. We're going to speaking to people, taking a risk, and sharing your pain and your fears, and allowing other people to help you to understand that these wee videos is to give you an understanding and an awareness about the pain and where the pain is coming from. And it's all through our thoughts. And I know in my heart and hearts that anybody can challenge these thoughts. You can change your thought the same as you change your mind, the same as you change the colour of your room that you want to paint, same as you've made a decision, I'm not going to wear that, I'm not going to wear this, I'm going to wear that. You can change your thoughts, and you know you have, because you've done it before. It's just that our whole mind is conditioned to the way we think, because what we learned in our homes and in our environments. And we have to break away from that and try to live a spiritual life, which is about freedom of the spirit, by seeing the good in yourself at all times, and being able to see the good in other people and recognise that in other people. And you will see the difference in your life when you take full ownership for these feelings and this pain, because the pain will go away. As we know, it gets worse and worse and worse. We may continue thinking the exact same way. Try and read a wee book, go out for a wee walk, take a risk, as I mentioned, and maybe go and speak to someone, and try and get some spiritual direction. Go onto YouTube and listen to other people's experiences, the pain that they've been in and how they came through it, and you will see it all comes down to love. But again, our definition of love is what we learned in our home and in our environment, and that is the only definition that we know, and we will live by that. I was talking to 7 people the other day there, and I asked them what their definition of love was, and the 7 of them said family. And I said, is that the same family that you resent and hate and have hostility towards when you don't get your own way? And they kind of looked at me and went, I never thought of that, because love is what we have learned maybe from reading in a book or hearing from other people. To love yourself, you won't have that pain. So when we're in that pain, we know we are not loving. So we have to look at something else and another maybe definition of love. And that's through reading other spiritual books and personal development books, and going on to YouTube and going to speak to spiritual teachers. And you will see the pain will be removed from you when you take responsibility for that pain, for we caused that pain. We can't blame other people who have left us in relationships, because in that relationship we have pictured that this person is going to fulfill what's missing inside, the void, and what's missing inside is that connection with the Divine Spirit. And we have picture this person is going to make us happy for the rest of our lives, which is a codependency. And when that picture isn't fulfilled, we hurt because we created an image and a picture of happiness. And it's just like I mentioned in other videos, the picture of happiness stemmed from our childhood. When you see the child painting the picture that mummy and daddy puts on the fridge of mummy and daddy and the brother and the sister all holding hands with the big house at the back and the car in the drive and the sunshine at the back, and the child paints that at nursery and we put it on the fridge or on the wall. Oh, that's lovely and that's beautiful. But that's the picture, my friends, that we all take through our lives. If I had this, I would be happy, and if I had that, I would be happy. And when these pictures aren't fulfilled, it causes pain in our life. So stop gathering evidence that you can't be happy. Stop telling yourself that you can't be happy, because you can be happy, and you can challenge that thought and say, yes, from now on I decide and I choose I am going to be happy, and I'm coming off this medication and I'm going to get better. I'm going to maybe go up the hills and walk. I'm going to start phoning, joining other clubs, start reading, start writing, start listening to music again, and start clicking your heels, because you can do this, because anybody can do it if they put their mind to it. And hopefully I'll be back again with another couple of short videos, but I pray and I hope that this wee short talk can help you take responsibility for our own pain. I know it's difficult. You might be sitting there saying, I don't believe what you're saying, Baldy. Well, that's okay, because I used to say that as well. But try and know, if you're in a dark place, I don't expect you to believe what I'm saying. But when you start coming out of that dark place and you open your mind and let the positive thoughts come in, you will see what I've been trying to tell you or try to teach you. Because it's all about choices, my friends. It's everything in life's about choices. And I wish and hope and pray that you can take something from this, because it's all about responsibility. We cannot blame anymore. Yes, horrible things happen in life, but it's part of life's process. Sometimes things are going well in our life, and then sometimes things are taken away for us to learn, because we are spirit and we're here to learn lessons. And we don't like the lessons we're getting shown, because we keep shunning ourselves away from them and being frightened of them. And there is no pain. There is no pain. We don't have to have that pain. We can take the lesson. And the lesson's basically just facing your own fear. And most of your fear comes from people. The fear that we have of other people and what they will think of us when we start being true to ourselves, and how we measure ourselves by other people. But you will see your progress when you start getting in amongst the people that you were frightened of, and start going to, if you're lonely and you commit a relationship, then go to a singles club. Go and try and meet other people. Face your fear. You've done it before as a child and a teenager. You faced your fears. You can do it again as an adult. So I wish you all the best, my friends. And thanks very much for coming on and listening to the other wee short videos. And I hope they've helped, because I can only keep what I've got, be giving it away freely as I got it freely. Thank you very much, my friends. Peace and love to you all. Thank you.